How in the world does stress increase thyroid conditions or even lead into Hashimoto's autoimmune thyroid issues? So it's Saturday morning when I'm doing this video, and I'm sitting here with my I Heart Dad mug with a nice hot cup of Joe, relaxing, getting my day started off nice and slow. Is that you, or are you waking up on the go from the get-go, always doing something, always busy, never taking time for yourself? Never doing self-care that you know you desperately need. Maybe you're just a worrier. Maybe you're full of anxiety. Maybe it's finances. Maybe it's relationships. Guys, stress in the emotional, psychological sense is always going to be there. So, how do you mitigate? How do you manage? And then we throw in the stress, the other two forms of stress, which is chemical stress, toxins, and physical stressors, right? So, we are just inundated with stress all day, every day. So, here's the deal. How do these stress responses affect specifically your thyroid? Because really, I call stress the silent killer for a reason, because it's just proven over and over and over and over again. And we see it every day in people that chronic stress or even chronic low grade stress responses in the body really wreak havoc. Okay, so when you're stressed out, when you actually are feeling stress, your sympathetic nervous system, which most of you will know that as your fight, flight, freeze, fawn system, is chronically activated. So even at low levels, here's what it does. So it increases inflammation. And I'm going to back up, because when I say it doesn't even have to be huge traumas or huge deals, huge stressors, like just the busyness of life every day, even if you feel like you're cool as a cucumber. And I say it that way because years ago, I was one that I said, man, like I was busy. I was running a big clinic. I had a family. I was starting kids and horses and a acreage to take care of. I was never resting, always on the go, always doing something. And I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I can handle it. Getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep a night, and I felt fine. But here's the deal, y'all. Eventually, all that caught up with me. And I would always say, I'm cool as a cucumber. I'm not stressed out. When people that actually were close to me could see it more than I even could, they're like, you are stressed. Like we can just feel it in your energy, right? So think about that in your life. So, as I was saying, when your sympathetic nervous system is chronically activated, even at low levels, it does a few things. Number one, it increases inflammation. So, the stress hormones are triggered, inflammatory cytokines are heightened. This worsens autoimmune attacks on your thyroid gland for sure, 100%. So chronic low grade stress can even damage the gut lining. So that's number two, is this inflammatory state, these high cortisol levels damages your gut lining. And if you have that happening over time, you're going to eventually end up with something called leaky gut syndrome. So chronic stress increases intestinal permeability, called leaky gut. This is a major, major driver of all autoimmunity. So Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, other autoimmune conditions that y'all are struggling with. And someday I'll get to doing some talks about other autoimmune conditions. But right now, just know that permeability in your gut lining leads to all sorts of issues, because things get through into the bloodstream that shouldn't be there, and your body goes into an autoimmune, a heightened immune response, right? Does that make sense? Number three is it impairs thyroid hormone conversion in your body. So cortisol, the stress hormone when we're in fight or flight, inhibits the conversion of T4 to T3. And most of you probably know, if you have thyroid issues, that T3 is the active needed form of thyroid hormone. So a lot of that takes place in the gut, but it also takes place at a cellular level. In order for the T3 to get into your cells and be active, it has to go through that conversion. So you may have enough T4, but not enough active T3 reaching your cells, right? So this is also goes back to blood work. Like, why is TSH and T4 the only things that are being run on most panels with most physicians? It literally doesn't really make sense to me. I don't even know why. Because T3, we need to know what T3 is doing. We need to know if there's reverse T3 being made, because that's another yellow flag. Because you can have T3 levels that are showing one thing, but if reverse T3 is high, that means too much of that T3 is being converted to reverse T3, which is not an active form. Again, so there are all these nuances to this that we need to run a comprehensive panel for. And stress can be a main driver of all of these issues. Okay. Number four is stress depletes nutrients. I mean, I can't say that enough, but gosh, your stress hormones and just the stress levels you're under burns through vitamin Bs, all the B vitamins, right? And I hope you guys know how crucial B vitamins are. I mean, really for everything. Magnesium is depleted, vitamin C is depleted. These are all essential for thyroid function and energy and ATP production, energy production as well. Number five is this heightened stress response in your body. High cortisol levels disrupt your sleep architecture, really. So even with 8 hours of sleep or 9 hours of sleep in bed, stress hormones prevent deep restorative sleep. So those cycles, those REM cycles, those deep sleep cycles, right? So you can feel like you're getting 8 hours of sleep and you're really not getting the restful restorative sleep you need to increase the parasympathetic nervous system activity, which is your rest, digest well, heal, grow, recover, all of these things to live a healthy, thriving life. And I was a picture perfect example of this one too. I would crash. I never have had an issue going to sleep. Like really, I can like fall asleep halfway to the pillow most nights. And I would get, sometimes when I would get 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep, you still wake up tired. You still chronic fatigue sets in. That was my deal for a long time as well. And part of it was definitely this, that chronic low grade stress. I was never getting to deep sleep and REM cycles and start until I started really addressing all of these things I'm talking about. So this is why you can be doing everything right with diet and nutrition, with exercise, yet still be struggling. The nervous system piece is often and almost always one of the missing links. So this is why in what I do in functional medicine, I bring my background in physical medicine, right? Exercise prescription and programming, nervous system and functional neurology training that I've done. Gosh, guys, and then of course the functional medicine lab work, lifestyle medicine. It's all of these things are missing, or I should say, pieces to this puzzle of your health, right? So I hope you all understand that stress is the silent killer. So if you get nothing else from this, just know that there are ways that you can manage and mitigate your stress. And that's one of the things I love to do with patients is teaching them in a sustainable habit changes that through their day, through their work day, through their life, they can really start to decrease these cortisol dumps that are happening all the time. And again, that affects so many other things. So if you have questions, DM me. Please, as always, I hardly ever say this, but I should every time. Like this, heart this, share this, just share these videos because people need to hear this information. There's so much information out there, y'all, that I talk to people every day that are like, man, there's so much information out there, I don't even know what to believe. Well, I bring everything from a very evidence-based perspective. I love research, I love reading about this stuff. And clinically it's just all this stuff makes sense. So pass this along to people you know need it, share this on your social pages, and then if you have questions, you can either DM me, set up a consultation call, because those are what I do to try to really hear your story and start working together to figure out the best plan for you so you can live this life. You got one life, right? So why are you wasting it? Okay, everybody, have a happy blessed weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.